Welcome to OrbitDenier.com. This lake behind me is Dethine. Some people would say that's an emergency. You should get rid of gasoline because gasoline causes the planet to warm and the lake's going to thaw. Well, truth is, this lake froze and thawed every year. When the natives were here before whites invented the automobile, this lake froze and thawed. Every January it was frozen. Every July it was warm, open water. You know why? Because the Earth's orbit does that. We have a 100,000 year orbital cycle. During a certain part of that cycle, all or the majority of the northern hemisphere is a glacier. 20,000 years ago, right where I'm standing, there was a glacier a half-mile high. Now we've got a frozen lake that's going to be an open body of water in about a month. And come January, it's going to be frozen again. It's not a mystery. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. But you've been guilt-tripped into believing that that thing thawing is somehow your fault. It's not. CO2 is a blessing. Man-made CO2 has made the Earth 40% greener in 100 years. CO2 is a great thing. Without CO2, this tree dies. At 135 parts per million, plants die. We are at 400. That's why stuff grows. But when the dinosaurs were around 600,000 years ago, we had 12 times as much CO2 in the atmosphere. The Earth was 12 times greener and 13 degrees warmer. Think about that. There were palm trees in the Arctic Circle, and there was so much food, a little gecko grew to the size of Tyrannosaurus Rex. So this behind me is normal. The Earth is going to warm up. It's going to freeze, and then it's going to warm up again. We'll all be dead, so it doesn't really matter, but it is absolutely no reason to get rid of the internal combustion engine. Man-made CO2 is a blessing. By the way, Volkswagen, Ford, most of the automakers have been pressured into going into the electric car business. Gas is cheap. It's barely over $2 a gallon. Oil is down to 32 bucks a barrel, and people are thinking that they're going to sell 5, 10, 15 million electric cars a year when gas is $2 a gallon. Are you effing nuts? Volkswagen is probably going to go out of business in 10 years if they go through with their all-electric future. And most automakers that are going electric, fully electric, Tesla owns that market. There's no room for you. You're dead. It's suicide. So any automaker that's going all electric, dump the stock. Until gas is 10 bucks a gallon, it makes no sense. And that is not your fault. It's not my fault. The Earth's orbit controls the Earth's climate. You're watching OrbitDenier.com. By the way, everything I just told you is a scientific fact that's been excluded from the Earth's climate discussion. Because if you include the Earth's orbit and Earth's climate history, then there's no panic. If there's no panic, there's no guilt trip. If there's no guilt trip, there's no money, there's no power. Man-made global warming is a guilt trip for money and power. Stop being fooled by the witch doctor. You're watching OrbitDenier.com. I'm Tim Anderson. You got a problem, you want to debate? I'm ready for you, baby. 24/7. Come get you some. OrbitDenier.com.